Nation Live. It's your boy Sanders Tisdale.
James Owen.
Guys, we got a lot to talk about, a lot on the slate. Steel curtain, the Steelers win again in Pittsburgh. Also, James, what else? We're going to talk about big changes coming to Pittsburgh. Also, we want to talk about Canada. Is Canada going to stay in Pittsburgh? It's looking like it so far, James. There's a lot to see. A lot of people out there trying to wonder, is he going to be there? So we're going to talk about that tonight as well. And also, the Steelers, a bye week, a much-needed bye week, all here tonight, coming up on Steeler Nation Live.
Welcome back to Steeler Nation Live. Like Sanders said, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. But first thing we want to talk about is if you're watching football, you see on the sidelines, you see the crucial catch attire and gear. The crucial catch started out in 2009. It's mainly centered around breast cancer awareness. And what it is crucial catch. You got to catch it early. You catch it early, the chance of surviving is very, very good. But now, unfortunately, in this day and age, there is a lot of medical stuff going on, a lot of cancers you can't even mention, you can't even name. There's so many to name. But what they're doing is they're compounding all that, the donations all together in one campaign, and we're going to call it the Crucial Catch Campaign. Since 2009, when this was implemented in the NFL, the NFL has raised over $27 million going towards cancer research and surviving afterwards and helping families and whatnot. So you can do your part as well. You can go to the Cancer Society, American Cancer Society, go to their website, see how you could donate. You could also donate by purchasing NFL attire of your favorite team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. You can buy hats, shirts, jerseys, whatever, and all that money goes to cancer research. So please do your part, have a heart, and if you're going to spend money on something, spend it on something good, because we all know somebody, a friend, family member who has been unfortunately touched by this cancer bug. And I don't mean to diminish, the seriousness of cancer by calling it a cancer bug, because there's many diseases out there. So let's look at this the way we can in a good light, and let's see if we can get out there and get some money out there to these families who are suffering from these diseases, Sanders.
Yeah, that's one of the things I do like is the NFL. They do it all the time with this crucial catch, and it's a great, phenomenal thing. James, I love the way he pushes it. You know what? It's all about caring for one, caring for another. And especially in today's society, it's great to see it in the NFL. Like we said, the NFL is a product that we all cheer for. But in the end, people get, the people who get hurt from it, the people who lose their careers, people who do ABCD. But when they go out and they put good things out there, you got to recognize them for a crucial catch, James. It's a huge thing out there. And there are a lot of people out there who want to be recognized for it. And we want to recognize those guys, especially the NFL goes way out for that. But James, talking about crucial catch, the Steelers caught a crucial win in Pittsburgh, James.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't like to compare the two sayings, but there's 7 crucial drops with the Baltimore Ravens, and we could look at this half full, half empty, and it's unfortunate for the Ravens and very fortunate for the Pittsburgh Steelers that the Baltimore Ravens receivers, maybe they ate a lot of popcorn before the game, and it was just unfortunate for the Baltimore Ravens in crucial moments where they had the tight end drop the touchdown pass.
Yep.
Another wide receiver, Bateman, dropped a touchdown pass.
Yep.
And these are all crucial moments. And we'll talk more about the statistics and the gameplay later in the show. But Lamar Jackson came out and he was pointing a lot of fingers, but he didn't point that finger at himself when he threw that pretty much game-ending interception to Joey Porter Jr. in the end zone. Also, before halftime, they could have went up the touchdown or even 3 points. It could have been 13-0 at least at halftime, and they had all the momentum in the game. So that was a crucial turnaround where they couldn't get the ball snapped, or the clock management was just pathetic, and they left the field with no points, and we ended up getting the ball at half. So a lot of things going on in that ball game, and it's been showing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have 3 wins, but how do we get these 3 wins? We always talk about splash plays. usually you attribute splash plays to offense, throwing the ball long runs, breaking down, go, rubbly, bubbly, scoring touchdowns, going down the field. But unfortunately for this season, if the defense has not come up with splash plays, you can see our 2 losses. Our last loss, no sacks, no turnovers, and we lost the game. The 3 games that we did win, we had a lot of turnovers, a lot of sacks, and a lot of stuff going on for this victory. And they basically, I don't know, did we win it? Did they give it to us? And apparently it doesn't matter, because a win is a win. And I like to pull up this quote from Mike Tomlin, and I'm pretty sure everybody has seen it or heard it. And this is the kind of stuff where now you're talking about people want Matt Canada gone, and now they're starting to lean towards Mike Tomlin. Is his time over? But when he comes out with a quote, just appreciative of the effort. It's good to go into the bye week sitting on top of the North. Our job is to win. We got the win. The business done today. Okay. What does that mean? I mean, if you look over the stats, and we're going to go over the stats right now, Sanders, you look at the stats, and it's just pretty dismal of what the season began. Take away preseason. Offense was on fire. I don't know what happened between preseason and regular season, but the statistics have shown from game 1 of the season that this offense is not going anywhere. We're averaging 12.4 points a game. We're averaging just a little over 250 yards total per game for the season. Yes, we have 3 wins. Yes, we're pretty much the top of the AFC, because of, we're 3-1 or 2-1 in the division, 3-1 in the division. I can't remember. But statistically, and we talked about this last show, we talked about the show before, that statistically, offensively, the Pittsburgh Steelers, since Matt Canada has come to run the offense, we're almost ranked dead last in the NFL as far as offense. Did we have a 500 season last year? We have not had a losing season. But at what point, Sanders, do we have to say, enough is enough? We play to win the game, yes, but what's the ultimate goal? Super Bowl. The ultimate goal right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers is to try and squeak out a win. Try to make yourself 500. That's we're done with that. I mean, I don't know, fans at home, prove me wrong. Call up 585-210-3917. That's 585-210-3917. Let's hear your take on that. Are you sick and tired of this Matt Canada offense? And we've talked, there's Canada people out there who don't want to see him leave, and they blaming everybody Pickett. They want Najee Harris to be traded and all this mumbo jumbo. And the center of the issue of the problem is the leader. There's no leadership in this offense. The only leadership we got is going into a dismal season.
Yeah, I can agree with you a lot. Like I said, and I was one of the biggest proponents, like I said, of protect. I thought Tomlin, those many years, not a losing season, which is a great feat, but you got to be able to take that next step forward. And we've been like bouncing on this 8-8 or 9-8, or even like on a cusp of making the playoffs or making the playoffs and not going any further. It's getting time where people are getting weary and they're just looking to see a change. And like he said, he made it. He said a change. So when is this change going to appear? I mean, everybody's been waiting for a while. I mean, how many losses does it take before the change takes effect? How many losses of fans does it take before the change, it takes effect? But black and gold, like I said, they can lose, they can go 0-17 and I'm still black and gold. But
absolutely.
But the thing about it is, when is enough enough? Guys, write on the board, let us know your thoughts. We want to know what you guys think. Canada, I believe he thinks he made a step forward. I'm not sure if he does or not. James and I have discussed some things about Canada and about what happened during the game and what happened when the big play came about for the touchdown to Pickens. But the thing about it is, up until that point, the Steelers offense, I don't know, we should go over some of the stats real quick. for the Steelers offense, which was abysmal, but it was enough to get things done. But that was only due to our offense having been aided by 7 drops and at least 2 touchdown drops, probably, and at least 50 more yards of 335 total yards that they had.
Yeah, I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers pretty much did everything they can offensively and pretty much special teams to try and give this game back to the Baltimore Ravens. And Gunnar Olszewski, I have no idea what is going on in his head. The game was pretty much set in stone until he fumbled the punt, which for love of God, and thank God the defense stood up to the Ravens. And I believe that's when we got our interception from Joey Porter Jr. in the corner of the end zone. It boggles my mind. And we did Miles Killebrew, another punt block. And unfortunately, we're unable to recover it in the end zone for a touchdown. But a safety is, that's points. We get the ball back. But looking at the big picture overall, offensively, or the lack of offense, we all seen the video of Matt Canada's reaction in the booth. And me and Sanders were talking about this off the line. And my take is that I think Canada was pissed that he had a different play call and, looking at the offense, and Kenny Pickett audibled. I wasn't there. I don't know. But in my mind, when you come up to the line of scrimmage, now the Pittsburgh Steelers during that game, if you're paying close attention like me and Sanders do, that on 2nd and long, the Pittsburgh Steelers, here's how predictable the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is. When Pittsburgh is at 2nd and long, we run the ball to try and make it a manageable 3rd and short. So the defense was lined up with single coverage to the right over Pickens, and they had twins left, and they had the linebackers in. So a good quarterback like Pickett is learning this, okay? First year. So, cut him a little slack. Not that much. The rope is short, but, cut him a little slack. I believe he audibled on that and just told Pickens to go on a go route, and he threw the ball up perfectly in stride. He didn't have to come back to it. The ball was placed perfectly, touchdown. Now, Canada's reaction in the booth, he had to get hit by everybody else was jumping up in there. Why weren't you jumping? I mean, we're winning. That is pretty much sealed the deal, touchdown. Pittsburgh Steelers going to walk away with this win. Canada pretty much had no reaction other than the fact that you look at his face, he's like, what the hell did he just do? You know what I mean? I just stuff like that. This is what I see. And Sanders, I don't know if you saw something different, but when your offensive coordinator, if he called the play and they scored, he would be jumping up down. See, this is why you still need me, but he didn't.
Yeah, we did talk offline about that, and I agree to a certain extent. Actually, Cam Thomas was writing on the board. He said, "You're right there. There's videos of Canada not celebrating when Pickett audibles to Pickens for a touchdown," and I agree. I agree 100%. But myself, and I agree. He didn't cheer or anything like that. But a lot of that is the possibility of, like you said, Kenny audible out of it. And if Kenny audibled out of it, that shows that maybe Kenny is starting to grow, and that shows that Canada still needs to go. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Because if Kenny was smart enough to recognize that and then did it, so that means that he didn't stick with that play. But the thing, what I will say for Canada is the fact that, I mean, to me, it is you threw the touchdown and they decided to go for 2. So I believe he was like, okay, boom, on to the next play. And if that's what it is, on to the next play, let's do our thing. And of course, we didn't convert it, but that was his mindset. I think going on to the next play, keep it moving forward. We've got a lot more touchdowns to try to score than that. So maybe in his mindset was like, okay, that's good. So let's roll. But the thing about it is that if Kenny Pickett audibled out of that, I mean, if that's what it actually is, if that's actually what happened, Canada needs to go. He needs to go.
Yeah, because like I said, Sanders, if he actually called that play, knowing the situation he's in, he's scrimping, he's scraping, he's trying to show the world or the Steeler Nation that he deserves to still be the offensive coordinator. I called this. I made this call. That's it. And there's more to come. It's a learning process. There's changes well, this is one of the changes, how I'm making calls. You would think that he would be the first person to jump up and start, doing some rah-rah cheering. You know what I mean? But you didn't see that. I don't know. And let's get back to the fact that our second win, not the third win, our second win, how he was celebrating in the tunnel as the Steelers were walking into the locker room. He jumped on somebody, hugged him. He was like ecstatic that they won the game. And it wasn't because of him. And you know how these kickers are ruthless. And you can see the video that Boswell coming in the locker room said, man, you had nothing to do with that win. And you could count on that. I mean, it's all out there, folks. Kickers are brutal. They're ruthless. They're beasts. Trust me on that one. But getting back to the stats, let's some crazy stats out there in the game. Now, a football game is 60 minutes long, right, folks? Check this out. Check the stat out. The Ravens led the game for 58 minutes and 43 seconds. That's pretty much the whole game. They had that. The Ravens led 7-0, 10-0, 10-3, 10-5, and 10-8 before we opened up with that touchdown. Now, wide receivers, 7 drop balls by the Ravens receivers. We talked about this earlier in the show. And it just wasn't, drop balls, but each one of these drops were in crucial situations where 2 touchdowns were dropped. Now, come on now. We have 0 points at this junction, right? 0 points. Ravens pretty much own the clock. Like I said, almost 59 minutes out of 60, they were winning this ball game. You would think that the game is pretty much, in the books. Write it down. Game over, right? No, it wasn't. And why? It was because of the defense coming to the rescue. We had TJ Watt, 2 sacks, forced fumble recovery. And this is the kind of stuff. We had the Miles Kilbrew with the block punt, special teams. Don't want to confuse with the defense. And the interception by Joey Porter Jr. in the end zone to pretty much seal the game. Offensively, Pickens, touchdown from Pickett from the 41-yard line. Touchdown. We take the lead. That's pretty much all the offense we had that day. Now, Najee Harris, he had a pretty, dismal day, 14 carries for 37 yards. Jaylen Warren, he's making the most of his opportunities, 9 carries for 40 yards. And this, I'm not saying that Najee Harris doesn't have the same attitude and mentality as Jaylen Warren, but you could see the different style and techniques of these running backs. When he gets the ball, he's going to get a first down or not. He puts it out there. He's even hurdling guys. Remember when Najee would hurdle some people? Yeah. Najee's not hurdling anybody anymore, but Jaylen Warren is. But like we talked about last week on the show, everybody has their role, what they're going to do. You just can't, because Jaylen Warren looks like the running back the Steelers need to start and Najee's not doing it. We need to flip flop it. No, you have to be consistent. You have to try and get Najee. We draft him first round for a reason. You cannot not play him. He's first round. You got to play him. Yep. Jaylen Warren, he's the kind of guy who get in there. What do you need, coach? This is what I'm going to do. And this is how I'm going to, I'm not here to take anybody's job. We need to play, win the game, and you give me the ball. I'm going to do my best.
We got a call already. Let's see. Welcome to Steeler Nation Live. Who do we have on the line?
You're worse out of me right now.
I figured.
Not really, but you know what? San Fran Steve, for the folks listening at home, this is one of our most adored.
Oh, let's make sure. Is it San Fran Steve?
This is San Fran Steve. You can't tell by that San Fran voice?
Yeah, thanks a lot, buddy. Since it seems you like to talk out stats, let's talk about stats real quick. When you have a quarterback that through the season right now is 95 out of 159, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions with a quarterback rating of 78.8, you're not going to win too many games. And you look at your stats on your offense, your defense. On offense, you guys, against for rushing, you're 30th in the league, 26 in the pass, and 30 overall. Your defense, they're a little bit better. They're 28th against the rush, 24 against the pass, and 30 overall. You're not going to win that many games. And thank goodness you guys were able to find something. I thought you guys were going to be like the New Orleans Saints from the 70s and wear bags over your heads until the last 2 minutes of the season.
Well, I wish Sanders would sometimes.
And the other thing you guys got going for you is just like you're in the weakest. You're in the AFC North, which is the weakest division right now there is. You know, and I hate to see it that way, but I don't know tell me another division that's weaker than you guys right now. Because here's the other thing: when your quarterback does get a chance to throw it, you might as well do what Burrows and Chase does: just throw him the ball 15 times because George Pickens is your only offense you have right now.
Well, that's because you're absolutely 100% with everything you said. And the shocking point, if you want to look at stats, that Pittsburgh Steelers are ranked in power rankings 14. I have no idea how they've made the top 20. But with that being said, you're exactly right.
Because you got you got a defensive end that has 8 sacks, which is leading the league right now, that's helping it.
Yeah,
let's have a couple picks.
We shouldn't compare. We can't compare Pickett with Purdy, and it's not fair because Purdy has got weapons around him, and he's got the coaching and the leadership that Pickett does not have. So if Shanahan was coaching the Steelers right now, or if we had an offensive coordinator, I watched the game, and I know you did, San Fran, Steve, and you see how all the outlets in the passing lanes that Purdy had to throw. I mean, yes, you do have to be not an elite quarterback, but you have to be a pretty good quarterback with a good arm. And the connections that he made to various wide receivers, including a tight end who had 3 touchdowns. Our tight end, do we still have tight ends on the team? I don't know. But if you look at it, I don't believe there was one throw to any of our tight ends during the game last night or on Sunday. I don't believe Darnell Washington, he was in one of our draft picks. We got him for basically pretty much blocking, but he has good size. He's got good athleticism. He's got good hands, good route running skills. If this guy catches the ball, it's very, very, very hard to get him down. But the Pittsburgh Steelers do not utilize their tight ends the way they should. And another thing with the San Francisco 49ers, how they excel so much is play action. Yes, it does help that they got Caffrey running the ball like a madman. It's hard to bring him down. But when you have play action, and you have McCaffrey in the backfield, and you got Brandon Ayuk, and you got Debo, you got all these guys, and you got Kittle. I mean, there's nothing but a victory when you have these guys healthy and out on the field. Not to mention, like we talked last week, Steve, that they got great leadership and great coaching. And when you have your quarterback going back in the pocket, Purdy, you have nothing to fear. This guy, I don't think he's thrown an interception in 9 games. I mean, Steve, I don't know. You tell me.
No. In the 5 games this year, he's 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Right. And
his quarterback rating is 123.1. So, but here's the difference: you have a great offense. You have a great offensive mind as coach, who's a great offensive mind coordinator back in the day, who stays with the same system that he's been calling when he was a head coach, when he was the offensive coordinator. And that's a big difference between the two teams right now. The quarterback, he found the quarterback to go in his system. Your damn coaches they just get to whatever the crowd wants, wherever it's best for business. And sometimes it's not best for business. Right now, Pickett is not, right now, the way he's playing, he is not the answer. He go back out, throw 50 times, and hopefully maybe get 23 or 24 receptions. But you know what? Like I said, maybe you should go start hitting George Pickens a little bit more. Maybe he should just blow up like Chase did last weekend. I'm always saying I'm open. The kid has phenomenal talent. And there's no reason that you don't throw to him more or find a running back. But you know what it is? It's all about hurt. Here's the other thing. Your offensive coordinator, he needs to adjust to the new way of doing things. And we're going to bring up, remember the Dallas Cowboys with their head coach. He's doing the same offense he did when he was in Green Bay. Nothing's changing. So the 49ers are, you know what? He hasn't changed one bit. He hasn't changed his philosophy on coaching style at all. You either adjust and become and get current with the new way the NFL is running, or you stay the same. When you stay the same, you get beat. And that's like the Dallas Cowboys. You know what? Is Dak the problem? Dak's a big problem when it comes to turnovers. And and he's going to throw up the numbers because they're just a play pass happy team. But when you think about it in the long run, they're going to get beat every single time by a superior team because they know that the Dallas Cowboys are doing the same thing over and over and over. And that's what's happening with your team right now. You know what? Maybe it's time to not just get rid of Canada. Maybe it's time to get rid of Tomlin too, because he's not making things better. You know what? Yes, he might have the longest reigning the best record in the last 16 years for making the playoffs every time, but he's not improving. You guys will be lucky to. I think whoever comes out of the AFC North is going to have a 9-7 record.
Yeah,
or 9-8 record, and just creeping. And that's not what you guys want. Are we happy to get in the playoffs? Are we happy to make the playoffs? Or because right now the Super Bowl's not even looking anywhere close to the next year or two for you guys. The 49ers have a chance to get their number 6 real soon, and possibly 7 before the Steelers are capable of putting a championship team together. Because right now what they're showing on the field is dismal, is embarrassing, and that's not. And I watch, and like I said, I watch football. I watch your team so I could talk to your show about what I see as a non-Steeler fan. I watch him. I respect him. I think what I say 3 years ago, I think Micah Fitzpatrick was the best thing you guys did by giving up a first round. Yeah, he's no Troy, but he's very good. And It's just like, I think you guys have made some progress, but you're falling back because you guys aren't changing with the times of the offense.
Yeah, and
you know what? And one other thing, where's my apology?
Well, if you
both said against me last week,
if you take a breath,
we're going to go over 30 points again. I said over 30 points. You said no. You got Dallas guy from wherever he calls from. Yep, he's going to be the other way around. We're going to score 31. They score 17.
Hey, but you know what? Here's the apology. Now I'm going to play it on the screen. Now you got to keep your sound down, but it's if you look at it, we took an ode to all the things that you guys had done to the Cowboys. The memes are out there about the Cowboys. They're beating them up. They even have Purdy taking control of the older quarterback there. And I mean, it looks crazy. Is beyond crazy, but you guys deserve the mantle right now of holding the top dog. The top dog in the NFL right now. I mean, because you guys have blown out guys that were supposed to be competition.
So here's the deal. Also, with great coaching for the 49ers, here's what's keeping that train going to winning town is you're staying healthy. I mean, Ayuk was missed maybe a game, and then Debo stepped up, and then Debo went down, and it's just as long as you guys stay healthy and continue the road you're on right now, there's nobody out there that can stop you. You proved it against the Dallas Cowboys. Now I did, Sanders did last week. Unfortunately, we thought the Dallas Cowboys were pretty much a formidable team, a team that can give the San Francisco 49ers some kind of competition. We even, in fact, picked the Dallas Cowboys, unfortunately, to squeak out a victory against the 49ers because they had something to prove. They had a statement they had to make. And let me tell you, they made a statement. It wasn't a good statement. And it just, what the San Francisco 49ers defense did, they brought out all the issues that is wrong with the Dallas Cowboys. And you're going to continue to see that as long as Dak Prescott keeps on, giving the ball away and key injuries to the Cowboys defense. Now, I'm not saying because Diggs was out, this is why the Cowboys lost. But if you think about it, the game probably would have been a lot closer than it was. It wouldn't be a total blowout because now the defense has got to change up and they have to make changes for, the fact that Diggs wasn't there and Diggs was their playmaker. It didn't help the fact that Van Der Esch, their ultimate linebacker, he got hurt and he was out. It was later in the game, but anyways, you have to, one guy doesn't change anything. I get it. But when you're handling a team like the San Francisco 49ers, you need that elusiveness in the secondary. You need to have those guys, coverage guys. And I guarantee you, if he was playing, there may have been a different change for the offensive scheme for the 49ers. Not by much, but I guarantee you there would have been a closer game. But you know what? Yeah, we got duped. we got bamboozled with these Cowboys. And, and I just love Stephen A. Smith after the Cowboys lose. And unfortunately, we had a couple videos we wanted to put up, but as of, good taste to our fellow Cowboy fans who call in the Steel Nation live show, we didn't put them up there, but they all see them. They know it. But Steve, we have a bye next week. 49ers don't have a bye next week. What are your picks?
Well, we got Cleveland. Cleveland's they've been giving up 27 average of 27 points a season this year.
Say no more.
Against team, huh?
Say no more. San Fran by how many? What's the over and under? What am I gonna?
I don't know. I don't know what the over under is, but I'm gonna go back to my scores I've been giving you. That'd be every week. We're gonna be 33 to 34 again, or 32 to 34 points again on offense, and we're gonna hold them down to a miserable 12 points.
All right, we'll say 34 to 12. Is that fair? How about 35 to 13? How about that?
So then the other thing, you got Deshaun Watson. He should be able to play this week because he didn't want to play a couple weeks ago because of his shoulder. But it doesn't matter if he's in or the backup's in. It's just like Deshaun's the same way. He's going to throw his picks. He's going to get frustrated. They don't have the running game, which is going to really hurt that. Going to really hurt them. And I just think the Niners are just going to cruise this weekend against the Browns. I'm not one of these realistics and super Niner fan is saying we're going to go undefeated this year. But right now, the biggest threat to us right now is Philly and later in the season. And I think that Purdy right now, he's on a roll. He's won the last 15 regular season games. And this year, he got smarter. And I want you to start giving my guy a little bit of credit because I think the last pick in the NFL in the right system is actually doing better than some of the first round picks that aren't in the right system. And they got to realize that you got to mold a quarterback around your system, not your system around a quarterback.
I've been saying it since day one. Don't draft a guy that you have to change.
Agreed.
Draft a guy that's going to fit in your system. And apparently the last pick of the draft fits in their system. And when you have quarterbacks that are running quarterbacks and you draft them for that purpose, then you want to change them up during their mid-career, the beginning, or after they start their career and trying to make something that they're not. It's not going to work out. So it's proven many, many times.
And look at Purdy. He didn't start right away last year.
No.
You had Trey Lance. That started. Then he got hurt. Then Garoppolo went back in. He got hurt. He came in for the last 7 games, which he had a chance to study these offenses, study the quarterback in front of him. All these new teams are putting these quarterbacks, except for Stroud out in Texas. He's playing remarkable. Well, look at Richardson. You put him out too quick. He's a still running quarterback. He's been hurt 3 out of the 5 games. Other quarterbacks out there right now that just don't have it. They're not giving them a chance to mature or sit back and listen to a season pro on what to expect in the game. They're just sending these poor guys out to the wolves, and it's not real. And it's like shame on the NFL because look at how long Rodgers sat behind Favre for. It was 5 or 6 years. Same thing with Montana and Young. They sat behind. They learned the game. They studied the game. They learned how to play the game. And it's like when it was their time to shine, they shined.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with Love. I know they got beat yesterday by a weak superior Raiders team, but he'll bounce back because he sat behind probably arguably one of the better quarterbacks of the league for a few years. Even though he wanted to play, he sat back and learned how to study the game, how to read the defenses. And it's just like, but you can't keep doing that. I think if Pickett would have stayed, what did I tell you last year? He went in too early last year against the number 1 defense when they played Buffalo, and he got destroyed. And I said, I said to you guys, that's one of the worst mistakes you could do by just ruin his confidence in the first week. You wait till the following week where you played someone else, or where you got an easier schedule, you had a chance instead of going out and getting your ass kicked for your first game. You had a chance to go out there and have a chance to win. Because when I talked to you guys last year about the Buffalo game, you should never put that poor kid in that game. Give him another week or two to understand.
Hey,
and
Stevie, brother, we got another call that's coming in. I don't want to cut you short because you was throwing some knowledge. But what did the score we get for him on that San Fran game?
35-13.
35-13?
The Browns.
That was James' score. I said 33-12. 33
All right, whatever. All right, San Fran Steve, thanks for calling in with your knowledge, and we hope for a 49er victory next week over the Browns.
Hey, big shout out to your brother and your parents. I see them online too. So
you got it, San Fran Steve, folks. Thanks for calling in, folks. You can call in too as well. It's 585-210-3917. We got a lot to talk about and not a lot of time. So, like Steve said, let's piggyback on that. He's absolutely right about everything, and we've been saying this since the season started.
Right.
I mean, but what are you going to do? We're going to make changes. Empty promises. When are you going to make changes? We're talking about just getting by. The division, the AFC North, used to be the toughest division, but the Bengals come out winless. They just got a win the other day. The Pittsburgh Steelers and everybody used to have the same record. Everybody was fighting for first place. Who's going to be in the last place down in the basement? And it was a tough division. And Steve alluded to it. This is like one of the weakest divisions out there. I think the other AFC teams with the Bills, the Patriots, and the Jets. And the Dolphins. I mean, now you're just fighting for the Bills and the Dolphins. Jets still will get no respect. I mean, it's just, what are you going to do? And talking about a lot of stuff, a lot of questions. Why do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers, have such good timing or games against the Ravens? Sanders?
Well, like I said, it's a divisional game. When you're playing divisional games, they know you know them. Just like we play Cincy tough all the time. And so when Cincy was even at their height, their power, Pittsburgh went into Cincy and upset them with with guys who I wouldn't even start at quarterback. Who was it when they beat him last year? I don't know why is this skipping my mind. Number 10.
Oh, geez, I don't know. Oh, Trubisky.
Oh,
Trubisky.
So they went in there and they upset him with Trubisky. Unbelievably, it was an unbelievable game. They came out and they beat him game 1 of the season, and it was crazy. But the thing about it is, the season keeps going. But the Steelers right now, they got to make themselves. They got a lot to work on, and it's not just on the offensive side of the ball. We keep saying Matt Canada, we keep saying this, we keep saying that, but it seems like we always forget. There's the other side of the ball. The Steelers have issues on defense. The Steelers have injury. We have guys that are out. Injury. Cam Hayward should be back in a couple of weeks. We got other guys out there with lingering issues, and guys out there who shouldn't even be out there, a la Levi Wallace.
Or Gunnar Olszewski.
He's another guy that shouldn't even be on the team, to be honest.
No.
We spoke last year about Gunnar Olszewski. He blew a game in New England, fumbling a ball in that game when the Steelers were kind of possibly taking control of that game, and all we needed was one win last year. One win would have turned the difference for us making the playoffs.
Yeah,
off of last season.
Momentum is everything.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that happen in the game, Sanders, and I jotted down a couple of things. What do you think the turning point of the game was? And you're probably thinking, the touchdown. Obviously, we took the lead. We're behind almost the whole 59 minutes of 60. We're losing touchdown. But let me ask you, Justin Hill's fumble. Now remember that run it out. They have momentum.
Right.
10-0.
Right.
They're just cruising down, and they fumble. We recover. We stop the momentum. That's one thing. All right. Ravens run out of time before halftime. They could easily had a field goal. They could have been up 13-0. You got Justin Tucker. He could have kicked it with his left foot and still made it. Interception in the end zone. Okay. That's another one.
Joey Porter Jr.
Blocked punt by Miles Killebrew. This is his third blocked punt. Pickens touchdown.
Oh.
So
we got another call. I'm gonna get these calls in right there. Hey, welcome to Steeler Nation Live. Who do we got on the line?
Hello, it's Anna. How you guys doing?
Anna Nikita, what is going on? Guys, I don't know whether you know it or not. Anna Nikita, she comes on. She does a lot of sports stuff for us here on Steeler Nation Live. I wanted to get her on video-wise, but you know what? We always find a way, so we got her on over the phone. Now, Anna, I want to touch base on the Steelers. A huge win, 17-10. I want to get your feedback. Anna's big with the Buffalo Bills. So, Anna, first off, tell us about what you think about the Steelers game at home in Pittsburgh.
At home, I think that they pulled it out. But if I'm being honest, all respect, I think the Ravens lost more than the Steelers won. But I will give credit where credit is due to Joey Porter Jr. He did great. I know Mike Tomlin told him before the game, you know what? Get a pick and bring it to me on the sideline. And that's exactly what he did. So all props to him. I think he's more than earned his spot. But the Ravens couldn't hold on to the ball. They had, 7 drops?
Yeah, amazing.
It was amazing. It was ridiculous. Oh, my God. But what stuck with me after the game, even though I was happy to see them gut it out, I'm glad that they could score in a variety of ways this time. But seeing Matt Canada's reaction after Kenny Pickett allegedly called that audible that led to the touchdown, just sitting there, stoic, didn't really seem to care.
Told you. I mean,
I
you'd think
shocked.
you'd
I
be
was
jumping
so
up for
excited.
joy. Number one, we scored a touchdown.
Oh, man.
Especially if my rookie quarterback, even if it's not the play I drew up, is able to go and on the fly call a scoring play that works, I would be ecstatic.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing about it. I mean, so do you think, let me ask you this. Do you think with the Steelers right now, 17-10 game, they got a bye this week, and you guys, the Buffalo Bills, let me see, who the Bills play this week? You know?
They play the Giants.
The Giants.
Oh, that's going to be a good game.
So give us your take on that, the Bills versus the Giants.
Well, still licking the wounds from losing half of our defense this week, but I really like Brian Daboll, and I was very excited to see the Giants do well last year. It felt like they really had this great lightning in a bottle, but I don't have the highest of hopes for a super competitive game. I think especially with a lot of people on offense, specifically for the Bills, going in with a chip on their shoulder or something to prove, as long as they fly back from London at a reasonable date and time, unlike flying over there, I think that they'll, and not to scoff at the Giants defense, I think that they've, if you can say that they've kept them in games this season, have kept them in more games this season, at least for a while, than maybe they should have been in.
Right.
But I personally see it, Bills 31-13 against the Giants this week.
31-13.
That sounds formidable. I could.
31-13.
I know the Giants are looking for a breakout game. This is not going to be it. It might be a little closer due to the injuries on defense, but when you have no offense, it kind of helps the Buffalo Bills. And that as long as Josh Allen doesn't try to be a hero and lets his team do the work and just feeds him the ball, I think the Buffalo Bills should not have a problem. I think it's going to be, I don't know, I would say like 28-13 Buffalo. I mean, I know the score sounds a little crazy, but it's going to be, I think it's going to be a lot more lopsided than that. So as long as the Bills don't turn the ball over and don't give the game to the Giants like the Ravens did to the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think Buffalo should be all right.
Yeah, they'll recover good from that. That's a bad couple games for them, and the Bills are due for a couple games like that during the season. But Anna, I want to get you on video. So if you're available next week as well, we want to grab you and have you come on the show as well. Talk Steelers football, give us a little bit of Bills insider, and let us know what's going on with it. The phone lines here are hopping tonight, but we wanted to give you options because I wanted you to call in because she's one of the girls we respect, one of the ladies we respect coming in here on Steeler Nation Live. So much respect, and thank you, Anna, for stopping by tonight.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
You too. Hey guys, that's what I said. It's all about, we get guys, people calling it. Like I said, the line is popping, the line is going tonight. So let's see if we can grab this. Let me see if we can grab this call. Hopefully.
Hello?
Hey, who do we got on the line here on Still Nation Live?
What's up, man?
It's our boy Jeff Reed, 2-time Super Bowl champion of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jeff, we love you, man. Thanks for taking time and coming on the show and, letting us know what you know.
Yeah, man, you got it, guys. How you guys doing?
Good. So obviously we all know the Ravens game. It's just like you called it the week before, in the trenches. It's a grudge match, boxing ring in the center, going toe to toe. We prevailed. Your thoughts? Was it a win? Was it a gift, or did the Steelers actually somewhat win this game?
Well, I told you it was a gift, but what I will say is I told you guys I think it was before this season started. I'm not sure, but after your first 4 games, you want to at least be 2-2, and that's where they are, and they're in first place, and they're not playing good. Defense has done great. Offense is pretty pathetic.
Right.
There's no, and I mean, I know that everyone is calling for Matt Canada's head, and I'm not defending him or going against him because I'm not an offensive coordinator. But I mean, the thing about it is they're 2-2. The way they're playing right now, they'll never make the playoffs, but they're in first place in their division, which is a very tough division. Ravens go to Cleveland, even though they didn't have Deshaun Watson, and they completely destroy them. They come to Pittsburgh, they hand them the game. Drop passes, stupid pass towards the end. Joey Porter Jr. Intercepted. But you know what? That's part of the game. So, I mean, it was handed to them, but the Steelers won the game. So obviously they did something right along the way, and their defense was stout as always. And that's the one consistent thing this year that you've seen. So if the guys stay healthy, you're not gonna blow the Steelers out. I know the Texans pretty much did, but there were a lot of offensive hiccups there that kept the defense on the field the whole time. So to answer your question, very long-winded, it was a gift, but they did win the game, so they did something right.
Well, let me ask you this, Jeff. 2 things. First thing, we talked about this offline about Chris Boswell, his comments. The last time the Steelers had a victory before this one, they had a victory, lost to the Texans, and then we have this victory. His comments was when Matt Canada came to the tunnel and was very excited that we had a win, and Chris Boswell said that it had nothing to do with you. You can count on that. And secondly, you could piggyback off this, Matt Canada's not reaction to the go-ahead touchdown catch from Pickens. And you would think that an offensive coordinator in his position right now, where every fan in that stadium is chanting for him to be fired, that they scored a touchdown to take the lead, and he showed no emotion. As a player, former player, your reaction, and as just a guy on the sidelines reaction, what do you got?
Well, as a former player, I mean, I had Bruce Arians, and those guys were very, very much so into the game. They were also not in the booth; they were down in the action. So you could see them firsthand how they reacted because they was on the sidelines and the passion they have for the game. I mean, if you screwed up, you definitely hear about it. But you could see how involved they were and how much they wanted their guys to succeed. Yeah, that was a weird reaction. It was a great play, a great pass, great catch. I don't know why the reaction was like that. I don't know. I mean, like you said, it could have been an audible that Pickett called and it worked out great. He was like, why'd he do that? Or maybe he just doesn't show a whole lot of emotion because it seems like every time he's on camera, there's a blank expression.
Right.
Or other than the fact what he did.
I don't know if that's confusion or if that is just his demeanor. I don't know the guy personally. So yeah, it's a little awkward. But as a player, the guys that I was, the offensive coordinators when I was there, I mean, they're very, very passionate, very much so into it, and very fiery. Like, of course, they'd let you know if you screwed up, especially not during the game, but after, and in meetings. But on game day, there's plenty of time for coaching, but there's not a whole lot of time for negativity. So those guys were very fiery in a way that they not only want to make themselves look good by calling the correct plays, but if you execute as a player, because they're the ones playing the game, you could see the emotion. Dick LeBeau is the same for the defense. And Bruce Arians, who I remember the most for the offensive as an offensive coordinator, was awesome. So it was great. It was great to see that. But I don't know. I don't know how to really answer that question because I don't know the guy personally, and I don't know if the players don't like him. I don't know if everything's fine in there and some of the play calls are just suspect. I have no idea. So, I don't, besides Coach Tomlin and a couple other coaches and a couple other people in the front office, I don't know anybody with the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, besides some people behind the scenes. So I can always tell you for years, even all the way through the years that Ben played, I always could say, well, the only person I played with was Pouncey for a while. Then it was someone else. Then it was Ben. But now there's nobody. I mean, besides shaking a few hands and hearing names, I don't know those guys. And the game's a totally different game. So, back when I played, which seems like forever ago, it was 12 years. And, the game was just different. Like, I felt like the camaraderie was better. I thought people, yes, you still wanted to get paid and get your money. And people still did holdouts and stuff like that. But it was more of a team atmosphere. The political part of it now, and even then, the business part of it were very annoying and tough. But at the same time, it's worse now. I mean, there's guys, as long as they get their stats, they could care less if they win a game. And that's sad to see.
Yeah. And not just for the NFL, but a lot of sports. But Jeff, one last thing I wanted to ask you is, this week, the addition of the bye week is a great thing for the Steelers right now. They're coming at a great time. We have Deontay Johnson, who's going to be back into the mix. And also, hopefully, Cam will be back as well. Hopefully after the bye a little bit, but still, they're on the way back. So what do you think those key additions back into the Steelers fold will help with them trying to get that somewhat of an early second half run into the season?
Well, I don't know how good of a leader Deontay is because you've seen him with some outbursts and you've also seen him be very positive at times. So I don't know what kind of leader he is, but, when you get leaders back, when you get people back, it's always in people that are have nagging injuries right now that all they need is a week off and they'll be fine. That's important. It's kind of early to have a bye, but it seems for them, it's time for them to look in the mirror and say, okay, we still don't know our identity, and we should after 4 weeks. So what the hell are we going to do next? Are we going to play great defense and be terrible on offense and punt a lot? Are we going to make a special teams play and hope and pray that wins the game for us? Because that's pretty much what happened there. Or, are we going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers that, even though it's a different game now, that dominate, and whether you win by 1 point or 20, dominate a game, and people fear the Steelers because nobody does.
Yeah.
And that's back when I was playing, we people they took their best shot at us because we had a target on our backs, but they knew that they were going to be not because of me by any means, but they knew they were going to be sore for a week after they played Pittsburgh. And I don't think it's like that anymore.
No.
So it's time for them to establish an identity. That's where I'm getting at with that. You can talk about things all day. You can talk about how terrible somebody is, coach or a player. You can talk about how great they are. But ultimately, if you're not establishing an identity and you're heading into your fifth game, then something's wrong.
Yeah.
And it needs to be fixed instead of whatever changes did or did not take place that were made public. I don't know what happened there, but it's time to either you're going to throw this season away or you're going to make something happen and start winning some football games.
Beautiful. Folks, if you're just joining in right now, the famous 2-time Super Bowl champion of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Jeff Reed, a team member of Steeler Nation Live. Folks, if you're out there, you're trying to call in, it's 210-3917, 585-210-3917. We got Jeff Reed on the phone. This guy is amazing on and off the field. He's been out of the game for a couple of years, but he still knows his stuff. Jeff, thank you so much for coming on Steel Nation Live again. We hope to talk to you next week. Hopefully get you on the video. Hopefully we'll get to see your pretty face and everybody can remember who you are and say, hey, look, that's Jeff Reed. And we appreciate everything.
Yeah, they probably don't even believe it's really me, but it's okay.
No, trust me. We have a lot of fans calling in and saying, wow, Jeff Reed, I can't believe you have him on the show. And you know what? Sometimes I think the same thing. Jeff, you're absolutely amazing. We appreciate your time and looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah, thank you guys, as always, for having me on. And, you keep doing a good thing with that show, man. Keep it up, and best of luck to you guys.
Yeah, make sure you tell your family you said, hey.
You got it, bud. Sounds good. Thank
All
you.
right, man. Take care. We'll talk to you next week. That was Jeff Reed on the phone here, folks. Come on, call us. Let us know your thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
585.
Actually, yep.
210.
There we go. I had a caller that was, someone texting on the board as well, asking for the phone number. So I wanted to put that up. I didn't want to put it up in the middle while he was talking. So just letting you know that. Actually, we got one guy on the phone. Let me grab him real quick. And I know who this is. Let me see if I get him. This is, hey, you got to turn your phone down in the background or your sound down in the background. This is Cowboy.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
now this is Cowboy Kenny.
Up in the place.
Cowboy Kenny. Over here on Steel Nation Live.
Love it. He waits till the last 2 seconds. We're gonna end the show. We're gonna end it on. We can't end it with his phone call. We have to end it on something else. But
I'm just saying, I called in because I'm gonna take it like a man. I can give it like a man. I'm gonna take it.
Listen. When they give you your belt and your shoelaces and your ties back, then we know it's all safe. But you are losing your mind. Losing your mind. And
all I gotta say is Dakota gotta go.
Dakota.
Listen.
Yeah, Dakota gotta go somewhere.
Listen, we wanted to play Stephen A. Smith so bad.
Yeah, I couldn't get it. Couldn't get it.
Oh, but I'm pretty sure you've seen Stephen A. Smith. But you know what? We're all said and done. All right, let's talk legit here. What do you think? All right, leave Dak Prescott out of the equation. Okay.
Yeah, McCarthy got to go too. His play calling is just horrible, just terrible, like Charles Barkley said.
Wait a second. Wasn't he like when you guys were winning? Nobody said anything about McCarthy. Nothing. Now that they play a real team they got lost. They got their asses handed to them. Now it's time for him to go. See, we have a legit.
I questioned McCarthy the whole time, all season. I questioned McCarthy with some of the stuff that he called.
Well, I think your defensive coordinator needs to flip his head around and stop acting like he's 12 and, start calling some plays and stop relying on names to win him games, because I don't think he's doing anything up in that booth. I think the Dallas Cowboys defense, Van Der Esch and all those guys down there, and Parsons, one of the best defensive players in the NFL. Why? Because he came from Penn State. But we all know that TJ Watt is better. But anyways, I think that they just show his face just to say, hey, we have a defensive coordinator. I don't think they need him because the Dallas defense is so awesome and so on point that you don't need one. But he looks really silly with the way he looks. I don't understand it. But,
well, I was Kenny, Cowboy Kenny. Let me say this, because I think I talked to you offline about it a little bit, but I think the best way to negate a powerhouse guy on defense is to run at him. And I think that's what the 49ers did a lot of. They went right at Parsons. And where Parsons was either sucked inside, Parsons was either pushed away. The only people that played the Steelers correctly without having to worry about TJ Watt was the Texans. Yeah. The only team. They went straight at him, and not just straight at him. They chipped them continuously.
Yeah, but look what San Francisco did offensively. They said, come on.
Yeah.
You come get me. And what did they do? Tight end. They did slants and that super screen to a guy who can who can do it all. McCaffrey. That's how they contain the Dallas
McCaffrey did it
defense.
all.
I mean, yeah,
But
come
let me
on
tell
in. You
you-
want to
let me
get
tell
me?
you.
Come get me. But I don't have the ball. Ask Purdy.
When like McCarthy, right? He knows that San Francisco's cornerbacks, they're number 23 in coverage. Why wasn't he exploiting that? He's trying to run and run and run, and I just didn't get that. When he know they're number 23, but hey, it is what it is. We took a nut.
Did we lose?
Well,
it?
somehow we lost him.
Intercepted.
Intercepted.
His call was intercepted. Who's his phone carrier? Dak Prescott?
I think this is him calling back. Yep, this is him calling back because he got to finish
was
off.
that Steeler Nation cutting me off?
Go ahead.
No, that was T-Mobile.
Oh, that was me. I'm
intercepted.
Sorry about that,
But now let me ask you this, because it's getting close to time for us to cut off too. But what is give us a score? Matter of fact, I don't even know who the Cowboys play this week. And
I think we have a bye week this week.
Okay, so you guys are not gonna lose this week.
Yeah, we're going to put our head in the ground like an ostrich.
Oh boy,
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
We're going in high. I love my Cowboys. I'm gonna be DC for life. Y'all know it. But I'm a realist at the same time.
I hear you.
We get it.
That's what it's all about. Like I said, Cowboy Kenny calling in the Steeler Nation Live, taking his beat down. That's what I'm talking about. Not afraid to take the beat down because he got more coming, and we here on Steeler Nation Live want to give him all the love coming up this season.
So like I said, I love how he calls the last second though. He had an hour to call us.
Yeah, I know.
But he knew that
Dakota was on the phone trying to explain to me.
Dakota. All right, Kenny.
Dakota was talking to me.
That's what I'm talking about, my brother. Thanks again for calling in. Even though you knew he was going to take heat, you still did it, brother.
Yeah, make sure you call in next week at a good time.
You guys are doing an amazing job. Keep up the great work, guys.
We will.
Thanks,
keep
brother.
up the phone call and keep up the losing. We love it. Oh boy. All kidding aside.
Right.
All kidding. He is one good guy.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, it's unfortunate he has bad taste in football teams. But you know what? He's smart, he's intelligent, he's probably not as good looking as you, Sanders, but
they're at the Chargers. I just got somebody wrote on the board.
Nice fan. Doesn't even know who his team's playing, but it's all right. You discombobulated because of that big loss.
Well, they had a bye. I don't know if the bye is the Chargers next week or is it after the bye? So that's what I'm going to find out. Matter of fact, let's see if anybody wrote on the board. And let me see. 49ers defense is number 2 in rushing. San Fran Steve still out there.
He's out there.
49ers defense is number 2. I'm putting on the board. 49ers defense is number 2 in rushing, number 15 in passing, and number 3 overall. Of course, San Fran Steve would know those tidbits of information.
Got a lot of time on his hands. He had that surgery, so he's got a lot of time.
Oh, man, I tell you what.
I think the meds are taking over. But, hey, he's absolutely right, though. They should be number 1. I don't know why they're number 1.
Oh, okay. Oh, and he said they play Monday night. So Monday night, they're at the Chargers, the Cowboys. So that should be festive.
If you have nothing else to do, before you go to bed, take your Pepto-Bismol and your Tums, watch the game, and have fun with it, I guess. I don't know.
One thing I want to know, and I really want to, as a good question is, will this be the last game for Dak if they lose?
No, absolutely not.
You don't think so?
Absolutely not.
So you think at the end of the season, they're going to pull the young guy in? Hey,
no.
That Cowboy Lover that's on the text board, call in.
No,
take it like a man.
Cooper Rush is the next man in line. Trey Lance may see time if Cooper Rush really, tanks. But Cooper Rush, if you remember last year when he came in, when Dak was hurt, I mean, he did a great job. I was shocked that they even gave Dak the reins back. But you know how I feel about that, Sanders. If you're the number 1 guy and you get hurt, the backup is the backup. And the number 1, when he gets better, needs to come back in and do his job because that's what he's.
Somebody asking for the number. We staying on live. We hitting it live here tonight. We got we love talking to everybody about their teams, whether they do good or they do bad. So we want to get feedback from everybody. We're going a little bit long tonight, but we're doing it because it's still a nation.
We got the extension.
Yeah.
The thumbs up from the booth. We can take this a couple more minutes into your time.
If you're
San
Fran Steve, good question. He says, "What are the Cowboys going to do if Dak next year when his salary cap hits like 60 million?" Woo! Woo!
They're gonna throw him in that Salvation Army bucket
as
a donation.
Oh, that's a good question. Hey, welcome to Still a Nation Live. Who do we have on the line?
This show is out of control. It's out of control. We can't take a call. We make a call. We can't do it. We're doing it all here. Steel Nation Live going past the deadline.
Hey, we got this cowboy lover so discombobulated he had to call in. So we gonna get it on. So that was a good question from San Fran Steve. And let me ask you this now. What are the Cowboys gonna do next year? Dak, when that 60 million hits the cap, the salary cap for the Cowboys.
Ooh.
Well, I believe he'll be gone by then.
Oh, Jesus.
I do not think that they're going to keep Dak.
Are they gonna?
I don't.
What are they gonna do? Release him? Trade him? What do you think you're gonna? Come on now, you're a Cowboy guy. You got the insight here.
Well, the way he played, I don't think he'll be able to get traded. I think.
Well, let me ask you this hypothetically. Hypothetically, this is all hypothetical. He goes in, plays the Chargers, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He throws for 300, almost 400 yards.
Which is possible.
It's very possible. Then what?
Yeah, he totally redeemed himself.
Oh my God. I think I just peed a little. Oh my God! Somebody call 911.
He has to redeem himself. He has to come out and play. He got to redeem himself.
Now remember, I said hypothetically.
Yeah, hypothetically.
Oh my God.
So let me ask you this, because we get close to the end anyway, and you timed it very perfectly.
Of course, another Cowboy fan before the. I was going to call, but the show.
Yeah,
ended.
let me ask you this: give us a score on the Charger game. Cowboys at Chargers Monday night. I don't know why the hell the Cowboys get so much play time on TV. Is it kind of
because they're America's team?
Yeah.
Hey, you're talking about America's team.
Well, yeah, I don't want to get political right now, but you see where America is right now.
All right, then give me the score on that game.
27-17.
Chargers.
27-17 Cowboys.
All right, that's believable. So Dak isn't playing next week, is what you're saying?
Cowboys.
Well, yeah, he'll be playing. He'll be playing.
I'd rather have Cooper Rush in there. Honestly.
Well, yeah, I think it's going to be 27-17. I think that the defense is going to play a lot better than the way they played Sunday night. So,
well, see, I think
look, they got to win this game.
What I think
they got to win this game.
What they need to do is they need to put the ball in Pollard's hand. They didn't do that. Of course, when you're playing catch up like that. You can't run the ball, but you can't put yourself in that position.
Let me tell you something about Pollard.
Please do.
Pollard's a great runner. He's fast, but he's too light. He's not a power runner like Elliott. That's the way I see it. I mean, I was kind of disappointed in him. He ran like he was scared. I mean, he didn't hit the holes like he usually do. I mean,
I agree.
When they played San Francisco Sunday night, it looked like he didn't have that oomph. You know what I mean? He didn't have that I'm gonna bust through the line type of running. I just didn't feel that, and I didn't see that. I mean, he fumbled. He lost a fumble. They didn't look like the Cowboys. They looked like they were scared.
Yeah, I admit that y'all did. Y'all. I think y'all were just overmatched, and everybody keeps saying Dak. I don't think, like I said, it wasn't just Dak. It was a whole implosion. I think because the defense.
If you see where he was throwing the ball,
yeah, Dak ate into it.
And that right there, was basically to me now the core of it. The way he was throwing the ball, he dinked and dunked basically the whole game. I mean, he needed to throw that ball downfield. He needed to have them linebackers and them play honest. You know, let them know that he's going to throw the ball downfield. He hasn't done that. I mean, and when he did throw the ball down there, it either got intercepted or he overthrew the receivers. And now they're talking about his finger was being injured. No, he was doing that before the injury to his finger.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I agree.
You know,
Well, and that's what I discussed with you know, on offline as well, is that if the move is made for the Cowboys, and you know, and you're talking to two guys here on Still the Nation Live who we got our own problems at quarterback. But for you guys, if the move is made at quarterback, then that's the end of Dak. And I think right now, I think that's what the Cowboys want to do as an organization, because now, as you just see with San Fran Steve on the board, which is a true statement, it's $60 million. You're not going to pay. You're not going to hold on to a guy with that much money who's turning the ball over.
No,
correct.
So I think that he's coming in.
I totally agree. I totally agree with you on that.
His next job should be at a bakery for all those turnovers. Just saying.
Now. Now.
There's a lot of messages on the board we can't repeat, but we'll keep it PG for tonight. All right.
Oh man.
I do agree with you. He has the these next couple of games, he's gonna have to come out there on fire in order to make everybody. Well, it doesn't matter what everybody think, but you know, to keep the light off of him. You know what I mean? I mean, he has to go out there. He has to be on fire. He has to play with determination and that grit that he was playing like when he didn't have all that money, when he was trying to, you know, get paid. I mean, I don't see that type of play in him anymore.
I think,
you know,
what the Cowboys are going to do, I think they're going to push Dak out like they did Ezekiel Elliott. I think that's the routes they're going to go. His performance, his cap hit, it's going to be just like Elliott. I mean, they had to get rid of him.
Oh yeah. I agree. And you see a lot of the owners pay the big money at the end of their contract. And to me, that's a smart move. I mean, because they're not going to give you all that money and then, you know, up front, and you're playing like Dak is now. So, you know, I believe that he's going to be let go if this trend of losing to good teams continue. We haven't beaten a good team.
Yeah. The Jets are looking for a quarterback. I think he'd fit perfect in New York. Just saying. They have the money. They have the money. They have the openings. Trust me.
Look. I kind of feel bad for Zach Wilson. I mean, they should have prepped him a long time ago. But they were all up on Aaron Rodgers. They didn't.
That is true.
They didn't. They should have prepped that kid. I mean, he's been with that team how long? What, 3 years now?
Yeah,
a little bit more. And they haven't really prepped him. And now you throw him into the Lions den, and you expect him to do this and do that, and then everybody's talking, "Hey, wow, this kid's been in the league how long, and he played like this?" Well, he hasn't been prepped.
Well,
that's the way I see it.
Any team that's coming out of New York City, you could throw the Knicks, the Yankees, the Mets, all those teams. I mean, you're under a microscope. I mean, you can't even fart wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And if you play in there, no matter how much money they throw at you, I think Rodgers would have felt the wrath of the New York fan because they don't take their sports lightly. And still, the Knicks are horrible.
I agree.
They still sell out the Garden, but whoever's played in New York, if your name's not Derek Jeter, that they could not handle. They could not handle the fan base. They couldn't because they're ruthless, very ruthless. And you stick a young guy
I agree.
like Zach Wilson in there, and you just, like you said, you're throwing him to the Lions. And anybody who plays in a New York team, you better be 100%, or you're not gonna last long in New York City.
I agree. Now, when Aaron Rodgers wound up going to the Jets, everybody was talking Super Bowl and playoff Super Bowl, and
he lasted 3 plays.
Right. And there's going to be a new division winner and all this. Everybody was saying that, and now look what happened. The guy get hurt within 3 plays, and they throw Zach Wilson in there, and I got to commend the coach for at least sticking with this kid. I mean, but on the same token, I don't like that they didn't prep this kid. I mean, he's been in the league for a while, and he hasn't been given a chance to really know the game.
There you have it, folks.
Yeah, we got to hear. Like I said, that's a Cowboy fan talking. You know what? He gave us a score. I'm going to call him Cowboy Lover Rod. Cowboy Lover Rod called in to give us his thought, his feedback. We had Cowboy Kenny called earlier. I can't believe it. They called in. They getting airtime, and these guys, we know what happened. But we all talked about that. So Cowboy Lover Rod, 27-17 Cowboys. And Rod, I do hope that you find some time to call in next week if you can.
Yeah, call it a decent time. I don't know, these Cowboys. Well, I tried calling, but the show ended. Well, we're on for an hour, so you have 60 minutes to call in, so we don't want to hear it.
Yeah. I'll try and call at 8 o'clock, all right?
Sound like a true Cowboy fan.
All right, Cowboy Lover Rod. Thanks for calling in, my dog.
I'll talk to you later, man. All right.
See, that's what it's all about, guys. Getting the love from other teams. Actually, I had some other guys that was on that I was trying to get the call in, but hey, you know what? We went a little longer than we usually do. We wanted to just get some feedback from other guys off. The Steelers are off next week, but like we said, we're not off. We keep it going here on Stellar Nation Live. We'll be back next week. So, again, a powerful show from your boy Sanders Tisdale.
James Owen. Remember, folks, crucial catch. Get out there, buy your gear, donate, call the American Cancer Society. Check them out on the web, see what you can do to help. We all have that family member or friend who is, unfortunately, has some kind of cancer. We can beat this. We can beat this.
Hey, and also I want to thank the guys for calling in. Cowboy Kenny. Cowboy Lover Rod called in. Actually, Anna Nikita called in.
San
Fran Steve called in. We had Jeffrey call in. Like I said, we doing it here live on Stellar Nation Live. So, guys, till we see you guys on Tuesday, Steelers not playing, but the Steelers will be here in heart, and we're going to make sure that we hear for them here on Stellar Nation Live. Back at you Tuesday.